Good evening. Absolutely wonderful. Standing up here on the stage, I certainly get the best view of our grade students as they come into the gym. And I'll tell you guys, it's been fantastic. Good evening, Dr. Robinson, parents, teachers, alumni, friends, family, and soon-to-be ninth graders. And welcome to a long, long-awaited celebration. Tonight is a celebration of the successes of 58 young people who will soon leave the familiar hallways and classrooms of our middle school and will venture into the wonderful and strange world of high school. Celebrations are held to symbolize important events in our lives and gather those who are important to us in order to share the joys of our accomplishments. You've made it through middle school, the hormonal minefield, the academic obstacle course, the social roller coaster. And now you're equipped with the academic skills base that you'll have to build upon, whether you go on to a new high school or whether you go up these stairs in August. So let's celebrate your struggles, let's celebrate your successes, your adventures, and your friendships tonight. You know, adolescents get a bad rap. They honestly do. And at times, I really feel bad for you guys. Adolescents, more than any other age group in our society, experience prejudice. You just have to walk around a shopping mall to understand that and get the leers and the looks from security guards and people who work at the stores, right? People view you at times with suspicion, confusion, and even sometimes with fear. One writer offered the following description: children today are tyrants. They contradict their parents, they gobble their food, and they tyrannize their teachers. That was by a guy named Socrates in 470 BC. So you've had a bad rap for a few thousand years. And I think a pretty undeserved one, to tell you the truth. Although there have undoubtedly been times when you felt wronged or even oppressed, I hope that there were many more times in your life when you felt that you were loved and supported by the adults in your life. But you see, celebrations are also a time of thanksgiving. And too often we forget this. As any good gardener knows, in order to help a plant thrive and reach the sunlight, it needs support and it needs direction. There is an excellent quotation by Sir Isaac Newton that seems rather fitting here, and I'm sure many of you have heard of it. If I have seen further than certain other men, it's by standing upon the shoulders of giants. In your growth, you too have stood on the shoulders of giants. And many of them are here to celebrate your success with you tonight. And if I can extend this quotation a bit, while climbing up on their shoulders, you've occasionally left a shoe print or two. And a few of you actually even wore cleats. But yet, through your climb, their support never wavered. So, you are a wonderful group of young people, and you've enjoyed the tireless support and the unconditional love of your parents. And for this, we are all thankful. There is no greater love than that of a parent for a child. And this support will continue throughout the rest of your lives. I would ask the parents, any mums and dads in the crowd today, I'd like you to stand up, please, and receive your well-deserved thanks for the care and attention that you've given these kids for the last few years of their lives. Thank you very much, mums and dads. Come on, stand up, please. And eighth graders, it is your night. But these aren't the only adults. These aren't the only adults who have supported, encouraged, and helped you to thrive. You have yet another group of caring adults who guided you to tonight's celebration. Now, I passionately, absolutely passionately believe that there is no nobler profession than teaching. It's been said that a good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. And I am eternally grateful to the professionals who are sitting here tonight in celebration with you, as well as to the professionals who taught you through elementary and your middle school careers. Their incredible efforts, their expertise, their warmth, their caring have helped you to shine tonight. And I'd like the teachers please to stand up and receive our appreciation. So it looks like we have it, all the best ingredients for an excellent celebration. So here we are to celebrate the success of 58 very unique, very wonderful individuals who tonight mark a milestone in their lives. It's my pleasure to thank you all for your dedication and their development, and to welcome you to the celebration this evening. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce our alumni guest speaker this evening. I think the longer that you're at a school, the more alumni guest speakers you actually get to know. And I can remember 5 years. 5 years ago, I came to ACS, and we had 128 students. Now, in my frantic pace to get to know all 128 names as soon as I possibly could, I wasn't really concentrating on high school kids at all. They're big, they're tall, they're scary, they're upstairs. And really, I was really focusing only on my middle school kids. But I'd have to say that it was maybe within the first 4 days of school that I soon came to know Haif Zamzam. Haif is an absolutely remarkable young lady, incredible brain. But even more than that, her personality, her charisma is absolutely breathtaking. Haif is one of those kids that, although I never taught Haif, we had many conversations. One of them in particular in my office that I will never forget. She wasn't in trouble, I was. But I'm thrilled this evening to invite Haif Zamzam to give our alumni guest speakers address to our 8th grade class. Haif.
Good evening, everyone. 7 years ago, around this time, I was sitting in the hair salon in the Hilton, waiting for my best friend, Lena Baruki, to finish blow-drying her hair. My mom kept calling me on my mobile, and after a while, I just stopped picking up. I knew I was late for commencement, but really, there was really nothing I could do. I couldn't leave Lena there, and I couldn't tell her to hurry up. It was really my fault. I ran back home as soon as I could, and saw my dad sitting on the couch dressed, camera in hand, and ready to go, as usual. I ran upstairs and quickly jumped into my dress that I fell in love with. I should be graduating from university next year, and until this very day, I have no idea how to describe the color of my dress that night. My aunt, who had come all the way from Sharjah, zipped me up quickly and put on my makeup. What I realized a little too late was that the powder she used was 10 shades lighter than it should have been. My father then drove me to school all the way from across the other street. I always hated the fact that my last name started with a Z, because I was always last in everything. But that day, I was thankful. I rushed in just in time to walk into this very gym with Andre Zoljos, the only person who ever came after me in alphabetical order. I remember looking at my class, thinking, wow, this is it. We will be high schoolers next year. I also remember my family sitting several rows behind me and feeling my parents' loving gaze at my back. Actually, it wasn't very loving. It was because my dress is backless, and I hated the fact that I had to cover it with a stupid shawl. So really, my parents were probably staring my back, hoping that if they stared long enough, that my shawl would eventually cover every last bit of skin. I don't know if this is a new tradition or not, but I don't really remember that we had an alumni speaker on our commencement night. Actually, nobody in their right mind, particularly those graduating, listened to commencement speeches. So you probably won't remember anything I say. You won't remember my name, or even what I look like. But maybe you will remember my blue shoes that I'm wearing, and the fact that my fringe might be a little too long. So why did I even agree to doing this speech? Because Mr. Callan had called me too many times to say no, and Mrs. Bertoya still had the chance to bail my brother if I said no. I'm supposed to be giving you advice, but since you won't remember most of what I say, I'll just keep it really simple. First and foremost, be nice to your family. They have put up with so much from you, and as much as you might think they're plotting against you, they're really not. Really try to appreciate them. In the end, they will be the ones you can go to for anything, especially money. And trust me, the minute you leave high school and step into the real world to become your own millionaire is the time you will realize what the word broke is. So yeah, be nice to them for money, if for nothing else. My second tip to you is to be nice to your teachers. They never fail people just for fun. You obviously did something to deserve it. Maybe you say you didn't hand in one assignment. Maybe the teacher somehow didn't get any of your work. Maybe the teacher told you to study the wrong chapters. Then how is it that everybody else managed to get an A? Be nice to them. Trust me, even if you do not do any work in class and you're nice to your teacher, you will still fail, but at least the teacher won't hate you next year while teaching the same course again. My third golden rule is to never lose touch with your friends sitting around you tonight. Whether it's through phone calls, emails, written letters, and yes, people can still do that, or any other way that technology will come up with, keep in touch with them. There's nothing more sad than to see your friend leave and then never hearing anything from them again. Especially in a school like ACS, where you're exposed to so many different kind of people. Exposed. I guess I just made people sound like different people sound like they're a deadly disease or something. So maybe not exposed. How about in a school like ACS, where you get the chance to meet so many different kinds of people? That's better, right? Take pictures so you remember what you did with your friends, and keep your yearbook so you can at least remember their names. My fourth great idea, and this one is really important, don't cheat. Not because it's immoral or wrong or whatever, because it's just downright embarrassing when the teacher takes your paper away and rips it up in front of the entire class. If you plagiarized the paper and got away with it, I honestly applaud you. And you should feel very proud of yourself, because your teacher did not catch you, and plagiarism.com, the website that everyone hates, didn't catch you either. That is a big deal. Parents, you should understand. But you will never feel more stupid than the day that your teacher does realize that you were cheating, and you have to explain to your principal, to your counselor, to your parents, to your annoying siblings, to your maid, to your doorman, to your imaginary friend Ralph, to your gerbil, why you got into so much trouble. Cheating is not worth any of that. My final word of advice to you is to take every opportunity you can in life. I guess I should have a fancy quote, and I have found one. Maybe it's not as fancy as you guys had hoped, but here it is. Mike Dooley, an author and an international speaker, once said, thoughts become things. If you think you can, you will succeed. Push yourself to your outermost limits, and you will be surprised as to what you can achieve. The quote is loosely based on the law of attraction. John Assara, a famed entrepreneur, once linked the two ideas by saying, our job as humans is to hold on to the thoughts of what we want, make it absolutely clear in our minds what we want, and from that we start to invoke one of the greatest laws in the universe, and that's the law of attraction. You become what you think about, but you also attract what you think about the most. I won't tell you to put in 110%, because there is no such thing as that, and I don't want to be the one who lies to you. Put in 100% and see what happens. Just to recap, number 1, be nice to your family. Number 2, be nice to your teachers. Number 3, never lose touch with your friends. Number 4, don't cheat. And number 5, take every opportunity you can in life. Do that and get back to me. If you are successful at this, then I will end up publishing my advice book and call it Pace 5 Points to Success After Middle School. Thank you very much.
Especially the teacher part. That was a speech that even Socrates would enjoy. That was great. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our commencement address. Now, normally our commencement address is delivered by one student, but this year we're very lucky to have 2 students who will co-present. So I'd like to call to the stage, please, Mariam El-Alami and Taylor Holroyd.
Good evening, Dr. Robinson, Mr. Callan, parents, teachers, fellow classmates. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The more experiments we make, the better." We should follow this quote to guide our decisions through high school and the rest of our lives.
We have so many amazing memories from middle school. Our grade has shared plenty of experiences that we will never forget. The week without walls trips were incredible, even if we had a few bumps, bruises, and stitches along the way. Trying to cross the pool on a sinking, soggy cardboard opposed a float was hilarious. Teaching elementary students science through our lab demonstrations was interesting and rewarding. And lastly, wordles and skills were so competitive.
All of us as students are so unique, and put together we become a fun-loving and diverse group. The smallest parts of these middle school years are what have taught us our life lessons. From Mr. Walsh's Rhodian mitosis dance, to writing and the reading strategies from Mrs. Bertoya, to the basics of math from Mr. Remington and the basics of algebra and the history of the United States from Mr. Schultz, are some we might never forget. We have become bilingual and talented people from our foreign language and elective teachers, like the times we studied for the big science and social studies tests in the hall, or helped each other with vocabulary words. Throughout middle school, everyone has become friends, crammed for tests, been late to class, been on gum duty, and had late night phone calls.
Everyone has had lots of laughs at the strangest of jokes, with maybe a few tears along the way. Ninth grade is the start of something different and new to what we are used to, and it may be extremely overwhelming, but if we stick together, all of us will succeed in ways that are unbelievable. For those of you moving on to different schools, we wish you the best of luck. We'll miss you.
Ninth grade is also a new chapter in our lives. As we leave middle school and enter high school, we are entering the world of finals and more difficult classes at IB, as well as spirit weeks, class competitions, and law games. We will also make new friends. High school might be the scariest time of our lives, and we look forward to going through it with it.
A wish for all of us is that in high school and in the rest of our lives, we will do well and be successful. For teaching us and supporting us, we would like to thank Mrs. Bertoya, Mrs. Callan, Mr. Schultz, Mr. Walsh, Mr. Remington, Coach North, Miss Click, Miss Smith, Mr. McManus, Miss Rima, Mr. Bowe, Mrs. McElwain, Mrs. Schaefer, Mrs. Davis, Mrs. Taransky, Miss McGuire, Madame Roy, Madame Bonneau, Senora Mercedes, Senora Gonzalez, Mrs. Bayari, and Mr. Mirzo.
And for being with us, but unfortunately leaving us now. We would like to say goodbye to Mr. and Mrs. Callan, Miss McGuire, Mrs. Schaefer, and Madame Bonneau, who has been here for 12 years. Good luck in your future plans. We will miss you.
And we leave you with a piece of advice from Eleanor Roosevelt. We gain strength, gain courage, and confidence from each experience in which we really stop to look fear in the face. We must do that which we think we cannot do. So we encourage you to face your challenges.
We just thought we'd like to recognize Mr. Callan for 5 years of both stomach float and
We couldn't let this evening pass without recognizing the 5 years of outstanding leadership Mr. Callan has given to the middle school of ACS. We've all benefited from the excellent programs, leadership, and ways he makes learning fun. Like the Without Walls and Boast It May Float, Paul Lumpur is getting a treasure, and he will be truly missed here in Abu Dhabi. So Mr. Callan, as a token of our appreciation for all that you've done for our school and the inspiration that you've been to each of us 8th graders individually, we want to give you this reminder of our days at ACS Abu Dhabi, so that you may never forget us as we look at you. Thank you, Mr. Callan.
Thank you very much, Miriam, Taylor, and Justin. We now have a special presentation from our middle school choir. So, under the direction of Ms. Lavonda Davis, I'd like to invite them for their efforts and for their special talents, for character. And the first award we're going to present this evening, we're going to begin with our foreign language awards. And I'd like to invite Madame France to come to the stage to give the foreign language award for French. Mallory Holroyd. Taylor Holroyd. Ahmad Ismail. Justin Johnson. Akshay Joshi. Kazumichi Kayaba. Chris Cowden. Christian Lampton. Alexander Lobengeyer.